hi-ho Pimlico. And with that, a little bit of a goodbye at Pimlico, Keith. It's the last day here over at Old Hilltop today, but we had a stellar stakes day yesterday.
Big day. Great handle. Handle pushing $4 million, way up off the day, comparable day last year. So thanks for everybody who came out. Had a good little live crowd out here. Heard a lot of noise, and the horses coming down the stretch. Everybody who played along on First Bet, thanks so much. Hopefully you come back today even stronger, because this card, from a betting standpoint, I think is even better than yesterday's card. These races are really contentious. You're going to have to spread, box your picks. It's that difficult, but it's going to present, I think, some really good rewards at the windows, because I spent a lot of time on these. I hope we're close. We're trying to give you some good information here, but. Get tied on. This is a really good betting card. Big fields abound.
Get tied on, indeed. I feel like there's a lot of money to be made today with some of the prices that are potentially going to be coming up. As you said, Keith, in this ultra-competitive handicapping day. So let's get going with this first race here, mile here. Actually, let's take a look at the track real quick. The track is fast, and the turf is still firm. A nice mid-60 day. That's going to climb up just a tick to make it a nice racing day here for the last day.
Yeah, we got a little dicey weather, kind of a little bit later this afternoon. Hopefully it holds off and we get through this card unscathed weather-wise. Turf course is held up, the main track. Everything's been playing kind of fair for the most part here. So, let's go ahead and attack, Callie. Race 1.
Let's attack this nice claiming 16th the mile here on the dirt. Never win 2. Keith, Keith, Tim Tulloch, and myself all land on pounding music for Linda Albert. Yomar Ortiz taking the call yet again today, getting oh so close in these last couple of races. Do you think the cutback in distance is going to help him today?
I like her at a mile. I think this is her best distance. I think she's got very good tactical speed against this group. This is a time where you kind of got to get out. Wouldn't be surprised if she finds a new home. She's right there. Is she an allowance type? Not sure. This is what you do. You're getting later in the turf season, right? You've got to go get a win. And this looks like the spot for pounding music today. She certainly faced the right kind of really good try in a 25-2 back from rallying into it at Laurel back in late July. I'll take a little flyer, but first we got a stat, right? Do we have the stat?
It's right here.
Let's show this first. Linda Albert, last 5 years. Pounding music's going to be the favorite. I've got 9-5 on the morning line. Might end up a little bit lower when it's all said and done, but you can depend on Linda here. 10 for 24, 42% with the favorites, 21 of 24 in the money. ROI hovering right around that $2 mark at $1.96. So looks like she's kind of a safe play to be in your exactas and certainly your tries. My long shot in here would be the 6, Hot Looking Royal. Not a lot of true speed in here. Caught that sloppy sealed surface off of a little bit of a break last time, stretching back out. One debut at 7/8 on the main track. Late braking, blinkers on. Did not have this on my first cut. I always like this angle when they hold back that information, right? Frisian Fire's okay on the turf. Half Brother was close fourth for maiden 16s on the grass. Hot Looking Royal with Angel Cruz has been riding well. Let's go to the front and see how far you can go. But there's certainly the one to beat is Pounding Music.
Let's see how. I mean, that's how the number. Speaking of Angel Cruz, that is how he ended up winning the Polynesian yesterday. So probably going to continue in a little bit of that ride and fashion. But Keith Fussell 6-3-8-1, and I go with 3-8-13. The draw and the 9, but race number 2 is what starts the early pick 4. And Keith, you wrangled up a ticket for us. Let's see what you got today.
Smaller ticket, $24 again, right around it yesterday. 3-8-9. Lad needs a hand. They're a little price shot in there. Back with the Solomon Barn. 5, 6, 8, 11 in race number 3. Race 4, we go 2 deep with the 2 and the 4. Jackie A and Stone Courageous looking for some speed to set things up for their closing move. Race 5, 3 and 10. Go ride the percentages with these trainers in the 2-year-old maiden races. These trainers have both hit it a high percentage first time out. We've got 2 debut runners in the 3 and the 10. There you go, Brittany Russell, Dale Cap. How do you see race 2, Callie?
I see race 2 a tick differently than you, but you go with the 8 on top. I go with the 9 on top, which we do. But referring back to the 8 a little bit, crowned out Cristo for Mario Sorey Jr. Grant Whitaker making a little bit of a comeback. And again, it's the drop. It's the drop that really does it for me as well.
Yeah, Grant and Mario teamed up for the nightcap with Fortes yesterday. Crown Count Cristo gets a lot of speed to target. Last time this horse called a fast track sprinting, a buyer of 67. I think something around a 60 is going to be good enough to win this race. Maybe a lower 60, but I think this is a race that just sets up beautifully. If he doesn't get it today and make that big run, you might see him jam it down to the nickel next time out. We've got a video spotlight on the favorite. Maybe a little strong with Highland Dream at 9-5, but you got the Barbosa factor, who's been drawing plenty of play. We go back to Timonium, and this horse ran really big, got the rail, showed the speed, took some pressure from Amicalola Falls, who came back to win, and just said, see you later, top of the stretch, going to draw off to win by 3 1/4 when it's all said and done. Buyer of 69, that's a big fig, maybe a touch inflated at the big T, but hey, reclaim here for Chucky Lawrence and company.
Yep.
Highland Dream, though, may have to stalk. Did show the ability a few races back to rally into it because there's some pure speed to the inside. I think Ladd Needs a Handler's going to try to set sail back in his Salzman barn as well.
Ladd Needs a Handler. And Keith, you still with 8-3 at 9-4 in the second. I go with 9-5. 8-1, race number 3, 8 furlongs on the turf, claiming 40, which have never won 2. You go, Landon, on the number 6, Eddie the Great. For Eddie Baker and Horacio Caramanos, hopefully finishing up a nice Pimlico meet that Caramanos has had.
Another race, just a slew. Take a couple horses, top and bottom the field. I mean, the all button here. I don't think you can leave a horse out in your exacta. You're going to have to protect like that all day. Eddie the Great, I think, comes out at just tougher races. Second off a little bit of a break. Caramanos been riding well on the turf course. Eddie Barker doesn't run a lot, but yeah, 39-1 in a tough group last time. But that a little bit of a late rally. That 6th place finisher out of there came back to win, won a 32-2 in life prior, and came back to run a big number after this race on September the 4th. I think he just keys up against the right kind. There's a little flow. Caramanos been great getting position, ready to strike by the quarter pole here with Eddie the Great. Use the 5 Hellman. I think is some sneaky good form. Some trouble trips off the last 2. Will be able to rally into it. Bomboloni, we know Bomboloni's going to be tough. Do we have a video of that one?
We do.
Yeah, let's look at Bomboloni stretching out. Went in there off that dynamic debut win. Dale went in and got the claim. Runs back on the turf. Unfortunately, gets in a little trouble here out of the gate, Callie. A little bump and a squeeze. Has to stay back and shuffle. Gives up 4 or 5 lengths, basically, right off the bat.
Right off the bat. And this is a horse that's a bit stretching this horse out in distance is really, I think, the biggest key, because as you're looking at his stride, that's just not it's enough of a sprinter stride to do well enough in this race, but this horse definitely has a stride, that more fitting stride to take these 2 turns. I think even if this horse gets into trouble, let's say that for argument's sake, this horse gets into trouble out of the gate, like this time that we're watching now, this horse is going to be fine going 2 turns around there. So just really, I feel like it's more insurance than anything for Dale Capuano and Bomboloni.
Now, I don't think he wants to kind of go out and battle with horses like Cosmicality and stop the spread, but if he gets that clean break, he has positional speed to put himself in that stalking position, which should certainly help his chances this afternoon.
Absolutely. Keith Fusel 6-5, 8-1. I go 8-10, 6-3. Race number 4 starts the Tim Tulloch middle pick 4. Tim wrangled up a ticket for us, and he goes wide in this race and wide in the next race, and why not? Such great events in those races. But in race number 7 is where he singles on, and he singles in on the number 5, Bernie's on Fire, which is my single and my pick 6 as well, for a nice $24 ticket to get you going. But Bernie's on Fire is probably your safe single here in that pick 5. We've got the pony races going on behind us, and we have a whole crew to support them along, so we're missing out on a little bit of action, but we're here for you guys today in talking about the 4th race in this claiming 25, never win 3 for 6 furlongs on the dirt. And Keith, we both are in agreement on Jackie A for Dale Capuano. Carlos Lopez getting the 2nd try on this gelding.
Yeah, we've got video. Let's go right to the spotlight. September the 5th at Timonium. So right back, Dale Capuano poised to have a big day. Oh, we don't have one. That's my bad then.
We do have a video coming up. It's coming up pretty soon. Here we go.
Yay, nay, I don't know. That's okay. No problem. No problem. Appreciate it, guys. The race here at Timonium gets in a little trouble into the first turn, little steady, little shuffle there from down to the inside. But I like the way Jackie A does recover. You don't see too many horses.
Best thing.
Huh?
Best thing that could have happened to him in that. Not the best thing to happen to him in that race, but I think he benefited greatly. And any horse that comes off of the pace at Timonium, you got to give that horse some credit.
It closed a lot of ground. Had to almost steady just slightly off the heels there, turning for home too. Callie shifts out about 5 wide. Comes on very nicely here late. In for the tag here for $25,000 for Dale Cap. Yes, plenty of speed again in here. Let's look at Cozy's Wildcat from the rail. Pelota, the 3, wants to go. Rolling front, Dialing Dixie, Free Square. These are horses that not necessarily need to lead Tyson, but they got to be up close if they're going to do anything. I think the speed comes back. Look for Stone Courageous as well, getting back to his best game for Hammy Smith. Stone Courageous, I think he's best as a one-run sprinter right now. Right. That's what he gets this afternoon.
And I think he's going to get that indeed today. Keith Feastel, 2-4-5-10, and myself, 2-1-5-3. In race number 4, in a lot of these races can go all over the place, which brings us to race number 5, this maiden claiming 45.6 furlongs on the dirt, and we are actually we're not quite so different. You land on the number 10, who I have underneath, Ride the Rapids for Dale Capuano. You're right, it's a Dale Capuano day with Rui on top of this first-time starter for Dale Capuano.
Another race. Scratch the 2, Liquidator, who I was going to use. We'll wait for maybe see her down at Laurel. You've got Brittany Russell with a firster, Dale Cap with a firster, both very good. I go outside, Ride the Rapids, half the Chica Rabiosa. And what caught my eye was the sales price, $40,000. Okay, on a mare that's been okay, not super productive. This must have been a looker at. A stallion that's standing for $1,500 must have been really good as a yearling. I love the work pattern. Really well prepped coming in for Dale Cap. A good, comfortable draw towards the outside. Let's see if Ride the Rapids is prepared and ready to go here and win at first asking.
Let's see if that's going to be done. And he's Dale, ever since getting these long rivers, he has a couple of these long rivers, and he's had nothing but great things to say about them in sense of their training and how they look. Yeah. Yes. So we have yet to get a winner for. Actually, I think we did. We might have gotten a winner for Long River yesterday. No, we did not. So have yet to get a winner for Long River, and let's see if Dale Capuano can get it done. I do go with the 5 underneath, Genie and a Bridle for Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez on top. This one had she had a really nice first time out in Laurel Park. They entered her for Timonium. She was in the post parade. There was just a little bit of equipment snafu, but she was handling she handled all of the stress relatively well. So I think coming back here to Pimlico, a bit of a bigger track, quieter track, I think she's going to enjoy the scenery a little bit more here today.
Like the ability to rally into it like she did in debut. Has the experience edge, certainly over the 3 and the 10. A little quick note, Brittany's Russell, the 3, Ellie Victorina. Mare was good, 12 for 20 on the dirt and won the debut. She's been okay with the first, a couple have hit the board, but 3 winning sibs in all for Ellie Victorina. We know the percentages. We don't have to repeat them. They're always very live. They will get bet. So I go 10-3-5-11 in the 5th. I'll probably key around the 10. The 11 Ice Cube Baby is a horse I used last time. I had that late breaking blinkers angle. Had just a horror trip the first 3/16 of a mile. Gets outside. We'll be sending with Carlos Lopez.
Keith Feastel with 10-3-5-11. I go with 5-3-10-9 to wrap up our maiden race. But we'll be right back to cover the rest of the card here for the last day here at Old Hilltop.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Race number 6 starts off the Rainbow Pick 6, and I brought up a ticket once again to get you guys started. I go wide in this race, in this Claiming Never Win 2 event, and in my single of the day is the number 5 Bernie's on Fire, and I think that horse is clearly the one to beat, but I think he's just going to be loads above the rest of the field there today. Race number 8 and number 11 is where I tend to go a little bit wider in those affairs, but we wrap up to a nice considerate ticket of $38.40 for the Rainbow Pick 6. But let's carry on to this Claiming 16 event, which have never won a mile here on the Turf 2 Turns. Keith, you land on Kid Bourbon, the outside horse, with Bob Caceres and Forrest Boyce, coming from a Colonial event, just cutting back in distance a little bit today.
Might need some bourbon halfway through this card. This card will make your head spin. But I think you got a chance here. I still think I've got this guy lined a little bit too high at 10-1 with Forrest Boyce and Caceres Barn doing well. But I just think the fact, shortening up a little bit, you've got the Forrest Boyce factor, getting some value. That's why it kind of just took me here. This is a horse that can make a little run from mid-pack. I don't think this field's going to get terribly far away. It's a big kind of a gaudy field. That's why I think Stimulus Maker, is he got any real edge? No, but I think he's got positional speed, and he's got a little stamina, the 3-horse here for Hugh McMahon. 11, 3, 5, 15. I could go on all day about the 6, but I know we got to go a little bit deeper into this card.
We do. We have some prices. I go with the rail horse a lot, like Chris Xmas for Michael Trombetti, Johan Rosado putting in a nice ride last time, breaking that maiden fashion, just taking a little bit of a price on that, and I go 11, 12. I add the 12, on the engine for Damon Dilo DeVico, and then, of course, with the 3 and the 11 that you have in your exacta, Keith. So let's carry on to race number 7. This Claiming 8 event for 3-year-olds and upward, 6 furlongs here on the dirt, and we both land on our singles. Bernie's on fire for Jerry Robin, Xavier Perez, just really always knocking at the door in those starter allowances. Makes the considerable drop today.
They teamed up for a win yesterday, right? No chance.
They did. Yes.
That surprised me a little bit. Got to the front, was able to control things, and held sway leg. Good win and an okay price there for the combination. You usually don't get that. I don't think we're going to get too big of a price on Bernie's on fire, but I like the fact, he's kind of paired up okay numbers for him, not maybe what he once was. Gets a little drop here into the Claim. He's the speed of the speed. He looks like to me he can handle a little pressure if he gets it against this group. I think he can stretch it today.
Absolutely, and I think that's the biggest. I really think it's just he finds friendlier friends every time. Again, not what he used to be. You're claiming off of Claudio Gonzalez, so you have it's hard to claim off of Gonzalez, and then to try and get this horse back into those starter allowance type of races. They're just seeing what they can do. I think it's just a smart move to do with him. I just think he fits better in this spot today, which makes him the obvious candidate. We both have the 6 underneath. Tommy Shelby for Henry Walters. William Humphrey finally making a drop where this horse is going to be much more comfortable here in this spot as well.
Yeah, he kind of races well back early and tries to make that run from the clouds. An okay run behind Jimmy the Kid last time out. Will need some speed to set things up on his home track here. The Spitball's interesting. Beaten favorite, well-beaten favorite, Timonium in a nickel condition. Now we're going to jump up and go to open 8. Kind of an odd move. I mean, maybe they got a little confidence. They went out and saw it. Barbosa. I'll throw in Spitball. I was against him big time at Timonium. He comes back here, though. He intrigues me with the flow to make a run into it. 5, 4, 6, 9 in the 7th.
Interesting that Spitball was avoided claim 2 starts ago and then claimed the next race by Hugh McMahon. So, a lot of interesting factors going into that. But Keith Fusil, 5, 4, 6, 9, and I go with 5, 6, 3, 10 with Bernie's on fire for all of our top selections. Likely your short price favorite going to be in that race. But race number 8 is this allowance. 6 furlongs here on the dirt. A nice competitive allowance. Keith, you land on the number 9, Betcha by Golly, walking right out of her stall for Georgia Andriakis.
Well, she was my best bet last time and got it done. Now she's one of our value plays, so a little hint of what you're going to see a little bit later. But we have a video of her last race in that starter allowance. Avoided the trouble. She had some trouble 2 races back going a route, and I like the move she made that day, but she took right to the front today. You see the comment, sent between, didn't really get asked till upper stretch. Once she got the lead, she relaxed nicely. And he just said she's on her home track here for trainer Georgia Andriadakis. They've done a great job with her. She sneaks away to price today. There's some speed. There's some other horses in here that maybe she doesn't want to quite go with today early. But I tell you, she's made middle moves at 7/8. She can close into it. She's shown the ability down at Laurel to rally, and I think the fields she's faced are pretty comparable to what she's got this afternoon.
That's exactly it. I mean, early on in her career, she was always sent to the front, and sometimes she would get it. She would be eager on the front, but now she's matured a little bit. Georgia's put a little bit of work, had a little patience with this filly as far as her taking some time to getting adjusted to doing that that stalking trip to make that kind of move. And now she really just she's really versatile. She has a lot of options here in this race, especially at a price. I just had her underneath on my ticket, so I'm glad that you have her as your value play on top.
Yeah, Barbosa was originally named. They tried to get Barbosa.
Right.
He goes to the 2 for Damon and Robert Bone and Eddie Brown. So RB Star, in very good form right now, set just off the pace. A good run at Timonium. Has the speed to get right into position, but this is going to be, I think, a contested pace. She's holding good form. I don't see anybody running away with race number 8 unless there's a complete meltdown and somebody comes from the clouds and they stagger and go past. But RB Star will be a pace rider. We know Barbosa. Into the race early, he gets these horses into contention, and they usually stay around. So throw that one there. No More Mask, again, was not embarrassed in the Shine Again Stakes on September the 10th for Joanne Schenkel. Another big day yesterday for her,
Big week for her. She's got 2 wins. One was a regular win, and then her second win as a trainer. Second start was a stakes win as a trainer. So we're going through the third start. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 for Joanne Schenkel. Absolutely, hopefully getting a bit of a more forward play today.
Yeah, good effort in a state bred allowance. 2 races back against RB Star, so we've got a little rivalry going. We'll get positioned just off the pace and try to sustain into it. Somebody to come from a little bit further back. 12 o'clock Rock, possibly. I like getting back to the main track. That 3-back sprint was really good. Moonsafe can close, Summer Odds. So pick a horse or 2 again in race 8. You've got to demand. I don't think there's any race on today's card. If you're sitting there betting a 9-5 or 2-1, I don't think we're going to have many of them as it is. Go for those middle prices, 6, 8, 10. In that range. Use them top and bottom in your exactas, and hopefully you strike, because I think we're going to have that pattern.
Listen,
on this
everybody's
card.
picks are going to be all over the board here. So you can see our picks, Tim Tulloch's picks are going to be in there as well. So everybody's going to be all over the board. So wherever you can, whatever you feel most confident in, go for it. So as we kick on to the 9th race, this allowance, mile and 16th here on the turf. And Keith, you land on Samway Sunset. Did I get that right?
Yeah,
I did. Sunset. I got that. We were having a conversation of me getting that name right. So Samway Sunset for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Angel Cruz back in the saddle again after having a successful 2 starts in a row.
Yeah, he's just been firing this horse, and he's going to get flow today. Horses in here, there's 3 or 4 of them that want to leave and go out. So he's been able to close into even not so quick paces today. I think the form that he's held, he's a dependable type in here. He's got the most sustainable run through that final 3/8 of a mile to me. He looks like a horse, just maintains form, should be 1-2, 1-2-3, hopefully 1-2. I'll go key around him. Bob Marco, I thought ran very well for Mary Epler. Slower pace and ground down late. Second off of a break, second Lasix. I think this is a guy that can sit a little bit further back if need to, so I'll use him as well. 7, 8, 4, 1 for me, John G. Pimlico is kind of his best spot. He runs his better races here. He's a deeper closer, maybe not quite as sharp making that rally. So if there's a chance, this looks like the setup today that it's going to If he's going to hit the board, it would be this afternoon.
I'm waiting to see if John G comes back at all before I start putting a little bit more faith to him. But as you said, this is his spot, and the race does set up well enough for him. Keith Fustel, 7-8-4-1. I go with 8-9-7-6 here for the 9th. Race number 10 is this nice allowance, mile and 16th here on the dirt. Keith, you and I land on the same one, the Jamie Nasici for with Jaime Rodriguez on top. Jaime putting in a nice race 2 back at Delaware and then coming back with a nice answer at Parks in that starter allowance.
Yeah, it was a few lengths behind our lucky man, behind Benavendi, who wins the Polynesian yesterday, right, up at Monmouth Park. But he's cycling in the right direction. Jamie Ness, he's 37% with winners going long, coming off of that top number, which this guy does. So I think he might have a little bit more positional speed today, drawing down inside, and you're going to have some types that want to go out there to the front. Certainly, Pharaoh's Triumph. I think Rusty G550 will be very tough and stay the trip for Barbosa. But I think our lucky man, he's got a little help. Our lucky man, he doesn't like that outside draw. He likes to duck out. leaving the gate, there's some empty space. So he's got somebody to keep him company out there in Federal Fence. He'll make the run into it as well.
It'll make a run indeed. Keith Fusel, 2.743. I go 2.417 in the 10th race. And Keith, we're on our nightcap of the day.
Yeah, that's good. We're rolling these races.
We're on our nightcap of the day, and this claiming 25 never win 3. 5 furlongs on the turf. Finally, a 5 furlong turf on the race today. You go with number 6, Concrete Glory, which I like as your top selection. For Brian Brooks, J-Ron Barbosa coming off of a nice off-the-turf event at Penn.
This is a guy that I might be willing to accept a little bit of a smaller price on today. Some horses that have proven consistent, turf sprinters. This is a turf debut for Concrete Glory, and I tell you, it's been, 18 starts. We're finally getting them on the grass. By Bodemeisters, they can handle the turf. Looked at the mare. Mare was an 8-time winner on the grass. Second dam, 4 for 9 on the turf. Concrete Glory is fast. He's the speed of the speed. He sets sail. I think he goes coast to coast in the 11.
In the 11, I go with Zipline to Heaven, Michael Trombetta, Fergal Lynch. Coming off, again, this is one that kind of, the race sets up for this one as well. I like how this horse can be, kind of checked in a little bit, put in that right position. This horse, weirdly enough, likes a wide trip, so we'll see what happens there. Again, anything can happen in any of these races. We have a lot going on in race number 11.
Yeah, we got a video for you, too, because we're not going to leave out Shelley Island, who should be rallying from somewhere from mid-pack. We're going to go back to the race in May over this turf course off of a break in a similar spot. This was a good one. Good run by the seashore. Bartolino, these horses all key up. Shelley Island rolling late, just, gets ashore, just not quite good enough. By the seashore, kind of resurgent, right? Kind of drug him to victory, did Shelley Island. So good effort there. We'll be making that run, can get that ground-saving trip before shifting out if need be.
Right, and I'm waiting for a Susan Cooney resurgence because she does this a little bit with the barn, as far as the barn getting hot and getting cool, so it's cooled off just a tick. So I'm waiting. I have a feeling we're going to see a Susan Cooney resurgence again, but that's our 11 race card here for the last day here at Old Hilltop. Let's take a couple chatting points here in the lightning round. Well, as I keep mentioning, this is the last day here at Pimlico. We have the Laurel Park coming up next weekend starting September 30th to December 31st. Next weekend is the last 3-day weekend, and then we kick on to 4 racing days, the 4 racing day weekends that we have coming up starting in October and November. So feel free to pop over and join us and again, thank you so much for supporting us here at Pimlico, and we hope to continue that again over at Laurel Park. But some nice stakes action that we had yesterday. So yesterday we had those are some good races. We had the Sensible Lady Turf with Ken the Queen, Joanne Shackle, with John Avello getting Joanne Shackle's first stakes win. We have Smash Ticket for Rob Atchison. Big runner coming off of that nice Saratoga in the weather vane here just to key this horse up. Race number 9 in the Polynesian. We give Angel Cruz for Jesse Cruz and Wasabi Venture Stables coming back, getting a second stakes win here in Maryland for those connections. First stakes win for Benny Vego, and in the Laurel Dash, of course, that was such an exciting finish with Cara Terry for Kendrick Carmouche again and Brian Lynch coming in and having some fun back over here in Maryland. Some nice horses coming up. But just wanted to also highlight that we have a bunch of mandatory payouts today. The Super High 5 is a mandatory payout. We have the Rainbow Pick 6 that starts in race 6 and the Late Pick 5 that starts in race 7. Those are all mandatory payouts, so if you put in your ticket, you're going to be getting something out again today. But let's kick on to some Keith Fusel best bet and value play action. Keith?
Our best bet yesterday, we caught English Tavern.
We did.
Just like by that much.
Yeah.
Paid $6.60. I was surprised that he got bet down that hard. Had survived a little claim of foul. But Jerry Romans, Hammy Smith getting it done. The boys from Ellery, South Carolina, my buddies down there. If anybody ever gets a chance to go down to Ellery, South Carolina, and go check out the Ellery Trials. It's always usually like the third Saturday in March. It's a great, great time. Been going down there for years. But real quick, too, Callie, I know we were rolling through everything because we got such a big card.
We're fine, Keith.
Some really good buyer figures yesterday jumping out. I went and checked in the Polynesian, Benevengo, 91. Smash Ticket with that win, a 95 yesterday. Caratori, 98.
Wow.
I mean, there's some really strong figures. These horses are going to get plenty of attention in their next starts. See if they can hold form. Smash Ticket, to me, visually, was the best performance of the day to me.
And I asked Kendrick, I said, how does this horse what's the comparison between the Saratoga start and today? And he said, just clearly Lanks better, but just really turning around in a bit of a different filly.
Yeah, Atras said he just didn't have her fully cranked up there. Gave her the freshening after the win, and boy, did it pay dividends yesterday. Man, oh, man. But, yeah, let's go to the best bet, race 11. We're going to go to the last race of the day. So if we need to get out,
Keith's got you covered.
Be kind if Concrete Glory doesn't get it done, but we're going to hope. We talked about the breeding, top and bottom. I mean, it's there for the turf. Concrete Glory is fast with a good break. If he comes away cleanly, I think it's set sail and see you later for that one. Let's go to some value plays. We've got a few, and this whole card is full of value.
So
what's the first one we've got lined up there, guys? You're gonna make me. Let's see.
There we go.
There we go. Thanks. What, I got 3 of them? Yeah.
Yes.
Race 3.
3 of them.
Eddie the Great. I just forgot what order they were all in. Eddie the Great with Horacio Caramanos and Eddie Barker coming in, getting some class relief this afternoon. Should be able to get within position 3 or 4 lengths by the top of the stretch and grind it out because he comes out of a really good race, some good competition that he faced in New York. The numbers stack up against this field. Race 6 with the 11, Kid Bourbon, a chance to get Forest Boys, Bob Caceres at fairly good value. And wrap it up, the other value play, Race 8 with the 9, Betcha by Golly. She's been good to us. Maybe she can be good one more time from just off the pace. Going to need some patient handling, I think, today with some other speed to the inside of her. But I think she can make a move into this pace this afternoon. Really good card ahead.
Sorry, Keith.
That's okay.
Those are Keith Fustel's picks, especially I like the Betcha by Golly walking out of the stall for the last day here. She can do it in 2022 at Pimlico. Let's head over to Dave Rodman for more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.